GT Divide Podcast coming at you another episode. If I cough a little bit during this, I apologize. I've been battling a cold, been coughing for like 2 or 3 weeks. It has been rough. Um, Also been doing a lot of self reflection, a lot of soul searching the last couple weeks. Got my bearings back, so now it's time to get back in action. Today I want to talk about friends from a Christian standpoint. Um, the other day, me and my buddy were talking, and I've even said this to multiple people recently. As I kind of speak to people in passing, um, do your friends know that you walk with Jesus? Um, do you know if your friends also walk with Jesus? And so I started to think about my friends, people that I spend time with, people that I confide in, people that I get advice from, um, and um, what I learned, my closest friends in my inner circle, they do have some sort of faith. It don't have to be, they don't have to be, oh, I'm a Baptist or I'm a Christian. It could be Catholic, Catholicism. I mean, some type of belief in a higher being or higher power, right? And so it makes it easier for us to have certain conversations. And so as I'm thinking about this, I'm talking to my buddy. I'm like, it is important for you to know if your friends have faith, but it's also very, very important for them to know, or for the people around you to know that you have faith. Um, and so I used to be the type of person that would um, kind of hide my faith a little bit, just kind of try to fit in, for the wrong reasons, essentially. A person hides their faith for the wrong reasons. So I used to be that type of person. I used to hide my faith. I used to try to fit in, try to blend in a little bit. I didn't want to stand out. But then coming of age, as I got older, I don't know. I had a point in time where I just didn't really care what people thought. So I was going to believe what I believe, and then I was going to rock with it. But getting deeper in the conversation, we start talking about um, knowing your enemy, knowing evil, Satan, demons, demonic spirits, and kind of encounters with demonic spirits and how it works. And he said, and we both agree. And like I said, I've had this conversation with other people too. We both agree that you have to, um, there has to be some type of discernment in your friends groups, and who you are around is important. It's extremely important because you become like those that you spend the most time with. If you spend time with people that own businesses, they're going to show you the way to owning businesses, and then eventually you'll probably end up owning a business. If you're a married couple and you hang around a whole bunch of single people, um, you're going to be brainwashed into singleism, right? If you're a music person, you love music, but if you're not a music person, you're hanging around people that love music, you will probably start to like whatever music that they're listening to, right? And that's just because you become a product of the environment that you put yourself in. And part of the environment that we speak of is your friend group. And so what and it has a different effect on relationships. So when you're in a romantic relationship, say your husband, um, and you just hang around a whole bunch of single people, um, they're gonna at the end of the day, single people are single for a reason, right? Um, so you hang around your dude and a bunch of your male friends hate women. You got to go home to your wife, right? And so they're saying things about women, and that manifests itself inside of you because now they're putting that inside your soul. You're attaching to, you're fellowshipping, because no matter where you go, no matter how you do it, you're always in fellowship. You don't like people think that fellowship is just a Christian term. Well, when you go to church, you fellowship. No, when you go have a lunch meeting with your friends, you fellowship. When you go meet with your brothers to talk business, your fellowship, right? And in fellowship, things grow, things get planted, seeds get planted. And so you'll have a husband that's hanging out with a bunch of people that hate women, and then he will start to look at his wife different. Or you'll have a wife that hangs out with a bunch of single women, that resent men, and she'll become resentful toward her husband because these women are resentful. They hate men, and you're spending all your time with them, right? And most of the time, it makes it easier in these situations when you're not showing, right? And then it becomes a spiritual battle, because most battles, as I tell everybody, is of the spiritual realm, right? There's things going on that you don't see. And so the Bible speaks about friends, and it's extremely important, obviously. In Proverbs 12, it says that the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The righteous choose their friends carefully. So it's not a just we just ended up friends. It is literally you are choosing the people that you are spending time with and being around, because that is an important piece of the environment that you're creating for yourself, right? If you hang around people that are pessimistic all the time, you're going to become pessimistic. You're not going to have a great outlook on life. If you hang around positive people, you will get the positive vibes, right? You are a product of the environment you find yourself in. But the ways of the wicked lead them astray. If you hang around people, if you're a Christian person and your friends group, you don't got people that are rooted in Jesus Christ, you are easily going to be led astray. And this happens a lot. This happens a lot of people. People think that just because I go to church on Sundays means I'm straight, I'm good. You'd be surprised. Most people will go to church on Sundays and nobody will know that they're a Christian Monday through Saturday. Like nobody will know. They'll go around, they'll go to work, they'll go hang out with family, they'll hang out with friends, and nobody will know that this person is a Christian. And there's an issue with that, right? Hiding your faith is a lack of faith in it itself. So if you are lacking confidence in your faith and your values, you will hide your stuff because you're or it's what's one reason, or reason number two, you're trying to appease the people that are around you, right? When you are appeasing people or pleasing people that are around you that don't exactly have the best intentions for you, it makes it harder for you to be able to grow in your own life. Proverbs 22:24. Do not make friends with hot tempered people, persons. It says with a hot tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. So this literally like people think that good rubs off on dirty. No, dirty rubs off on good. So if you hang around wickedness, if you hang around angry people, if you hang around resentful people, you're going to begin to resent. You're going to begin to be angry about the same stuff that they're angry about, right? So, like I said, if you got a group of friends, if your boys is hanging out and they're all single and they hate women, and then you got to go home to your wife after you've hung out with these dudes, like you've been in fellowship with hating women, right? That will affect your relationship negatively. I know it's a lot of dudes that can attest to that. I can attest to that my damn self, hanging around the wrong type of the wrong crowd of people, right? If you're a woman and you're hanging around a whole bunch of bitter females that are single and probably got kids or whatever, so they hate men, they think men are the root of all evil. You're going to become entitled in your relationship. You're going to go home to your husband and think that you run everything, think that everything has to be your way because what? These women that you hang around told you that that's the way the relationship's supposed to be. So you're taking relationship advice from people that aren't even in a relationship themselves, which doesn't make any sense to me how you're going to take relationship advice from these people. If they've shown that their failure rate is high, why would you want to go and collect that failure rate and bring that into your own house? And then the next point of picking your friends wisely and then making sure that Jesus, that blood of Jesus is protecting you outside in the world is when it comes to demonic spirits, when it comes to the spiritual warfare that goes on outside, if you don't walk around protected, right, you can easily become infected. So if you're walking around and you're not protected, you can easily become infected. And you can see this happen all the time. It's happened to Christians. It's happened to me. I've had experience with being around the wrong crowd and becoming infected with the evils that were lurking in them. Right? My good didn't rub off on them. They saw my light, they came to it, and then they tried to dim it. That's what people do. So you have to be careful that you don't have these type of people in your friends group because people think that Satan is all red and horns and fiery flames behind him and a spiky tail or whatever. That's no, Satan's going to come and he's going to look like everything that you want. Everything that you want, everything that you think that you desire, that's what he's going to look like. If I desire donuts, he's going to look like a nice Long John donut. That's my favorite donut from Quick Trip, like the Long Johns with the chocolate on top. That's what he's going to look like because he knows that's the way to get to me. He's not going to come looking the same for everybody out there. He won't do that. And so you get in situations because in your walk with Jesus, you're afraid to walk with Jesus. You only walk with Jesus when there's somebody telling you to on Sundays. So when you get up out of church on Sundays, you no longer walking with Jesus. Uh, there's a guy that I watch on YouTube. Um, he speaks a lot about how to actually have a relationship with the Lord, you have to be set apart from religion as well. Because if you have to go to church to get connected, right? But it does not say that in the Bible. And the Bible does not say that to get connected to God, you got to go through a church building, you got to go through a pastor, a priest, a deacon, a bishop. It doesn't say that in the Bible. It says you have to go through Jesus Christ to get to God. So you have to go through Jesus. And so what happens is people put another middleman in there. Well, let me go through him, and then he takes me through Jesus, and then that gets to God. God did not, that's not the way he said it. And so people get in this lifestyle and then they forget, right? They forget that I have to walk with Jesus as I walk through life. One of the greatest verses in the Bible, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? I fear not. There is no fear because God is with me. When you walk through trials and tribulations in your life, there's no fear because God is with you. If evil knows God is with you, people say, "Oh, man, evil is going to tempt you. It's going to get you," because it knows no. God scares away evil. God, when you're in your walk, if you've got a friends group, right, a God driven, Jesus driven, fellowship oriented friends group, it will be hard for evil to break that stronghold. And then you'll know that the people that you're around, because of their faith, have the best intentions for you. So you can get advice from a person that is ungodly. So say you're asking for advice for your brother and sister. Your brother and sister, you're trying to fix that relationship because you're family, right? You're getting advice. You're trying to get Christian, right? God-like advice from somebody who does not even know who God is, right? So they're telling you, well, you need to do this. I think you should do this. I mean, you know what, man? Your brother does this, then you need to do this. And so you get tit for tat in your brain because you're listening to somebody, right? Somebody has influenced you into doing something that is not Christ-like. And guess what you're doing? You're doing something that's not Christ-like because this person told you to. That's your friend, though. That's the person that you call a friend. And so people get into the vibes, they get into the rumbles of doing these things over and over and over again. And then they wonder why they get the same results. You're getting the same results because you're not plugged in like you need to be plugged in. And when I say plugged into the group, there's a group that's plugged in. You can't just, I'm going to go to church on Sundays and that's the plug in for the week. No, like you have to ask yourself the question because when Jesus walked the earth, everybody knew who he was. Everybody knew who he was, what he stood for, right? His disciples, everybody knew who they were, what they stood for. People are afraid of what people are so afraid of what people think that they're afraid to walk, to pick up that cross daily and walk with Jesus on the earth. They're afraid of that. It's scary, man. Scary. But I will tell you from experience, most of the happiest people, the most joyful people that I've ever met, they walk with Jesus. Their friends walk with Jesus. They walk with Jesus. They walk with Jesus together. That's how you get where you're trying to go. Um, a good, I'll call my brother. His name is Trey. My boy from First Pentecostal Church, Wichita, Kansas. I can just tell by how he carries himself, right? And we talk a little bit. We chop it up. We dap it up. We tell each other we love each other. Like I know that brother is praying for me, and that brother knows I'm praying for him. We may not spend all week together. We may not get together all the time, but when we see each other for those moments, right? I consider him a brother, right? A brother in Christ. So I know he praying for me, and I know he knows I'm praying for him. And he would never give me ungodly advice. So if you want godly advice, if you're sitting over here trying to say, "Well, I want advice to what would God do?" You can't get that from somebody that doesn't know Jesus. So if your friends group doesn't know that first of all, they don't know that you walk with Jesus, but second of all, you don't know if they're walking with Jesus. They may be walking with the devil. You have no idea who these people are walking with. Zero clue, right? Where you can't be naive to the world. You have to walk with discernment, some wisdom. God gives you wisdom. You walk with that in order for you to make better decisions. And the problem is people are out here walking lackadaisical, just with their eyes closed, just hoping that some good stuff happened to them. That's not how it works. Pay attention, right? Pick your friends wisely. That's biblical. Say that in Proverbs. The righteous choose their friends carefully. If you choose the wrong friends, it could set you back because not everybody out here wants to see you level up. Some people want to see you elevate, right? Some people want to see you elevate. You go up a little bit, but you're still you. As soon as the Lord takes you and levels you up, you become a different person. Oh, they don't want to mess with you no more. Some people are only in your life for that season, but once you level up, they can't come with you. Once you get to a certain time, like if you on your way, I'm on I-135 and I'm headed up to Kansas City, right? As soon as I get to KC, I gotta exit. If I stay on the I and I just keep on going, I'm gonna end up somewhere I don't want to be, right? If I'm on the I, man, I'm on the I, and I'm getting off in Emporia, right? So if I keep going on the I, I'm either gonna end up in Topeka or I'm gonna end up in Kansas City. I'm going past Emporia. When you see the Emporia exit sign, that's your cue. It's time to get off the highway, right? There are seasons in your life when you have to get off the highway. Your exit has come up. It's time to get off. You have to be able to discern when it is time to get off. When it's time for your life to take that change, when you make a change and move it to another level, when you make a change and you elevate, right? But then Jesus is like, well, you've elevated enough. It's time to level up now. Level two. Bloop, bloop. You can't take level one friends into level two with you. Level one friends was made for level one and they could stay in level one. But once you get to level two, you can't take level one friends to that level. Now, some of you guys, because you are pleasing to people, you want to please everybody, you will keep yourself on level one for all of your entire life because you're so worried about fitting in. I want to make friends, I want to blend in. Forget blending in because Jesus told you to stand out. Stand out, and the right people will come and enter your circle. God will send people to enter your circle. If you're out here trying to grab people to your circle, trying to get people to come into your circle, the hands of God aren't in that. That's for your own selfish pleasure. When God sends people to your circle, He doesn't send to me. There's some people that I met over the past 5, 6, 7 years. Let me tell you, I met people in my circle that have helped me understand life. I got friends that I met through the law enforcement training academy, through my career field. I've got friends that go way back. I got my boy lives in North Carolina. Another buddy of mine just moved to California. We keep it tabs on each other. But those are friends that are leveling up too, right? You start your life out, you graduate from high school, you go to college, then you get a wife, or for us men, we get wife, we get kids, we start to get families, and my boys is wife and kids and families. We all moving up, we all are starting to elevate. Then we hit the next level, right? Oh shoot, now we got kids, now we got to buy a house, right? Next level. Oh man, now we got a house, now we got to figure out, okay, how do we build the type of foundation for the family that we want, right? And what you have to understand is the people that you have in your corner directly affect the outcome of where your life's journey is going. And so, guys, I want you to take this into consideration that good friends are important to your walk and your journey with Jesus Christ. Remember, Ecclesiastes says a true friend helps in times of need. When you need them the most, it doesn't matter. They will help you. They will be there. And you'd be surprised who shows up when you're isolated. When you have to isolate, or when you go through a season of isolation, the people that show up during that time, them right there are your true friends. 100%. They will come out the woodworks for you regardless. Regardless, they will come out of the woodworks. Proverbs 27:6 says, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Proverbs is huge. But there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Huge. So, guys, what are you? Is the question. Are you walking with Jesus? Do people know that you walk with Jesus? Do your friends know? Do your friends walk with Jesus? You must ask yourself that question today. And those are the questions that I'm asking you guys. Do people know that you yourself are on a walk with with the lion and the lamb, with the King of Kings? Do they know that you're on a walk with Jesus? If they don't know, guess what? You could be walking hand in hand with your enemy. On my next podcast, I'm going to talk about knowing your enemy. I'm going to talk about why that's important, because it is extremely important to know who the fight is against. Who the fight is against. Something that I hate that they don't preach in churches is the understanding of the enemy. You have to study your opponent, because your opponent is damn sure studying you. This GT Divide podcast, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, do people know that you walk with Jesus? Ask yourself that question. Like, subscribe, share. This GT again. I'm out.